Hello everybody, welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the card lady, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. So I'm trying horizontal again, and I think so far so good. But I am going to wait for comments. It didn't tell me that I couldn't rotate, so I think that's always a good sign. I was going to see if, nope. Facebook is acting funny again. When I went on earlier today, it must have a time limit. When I went on earlier today, it said live video. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be all set. But no such luck now. But anyway, I wanted to share with you the Apple Harvest bundle. Because we've only got one more day before you cannot get the dies anymore. The Perfect Partners dies. There were 6 stamp sets, and the Apple Harvest dies are one of them. They're only available until September 30th. At least that's what Stampin' Up! Has told us. So if you want to get them, you better get it quick. I will include a host code because I keep forgetting to put that down here. But anyway, for my retreat on Saturday, thank you to everybody that came. Thank you for everybody that prayed for me so that it would go well. It was a fabulous day. It was so nice. Had a wonderful, wonderful day. So many people, fellowshipping with other crafters, there's just nothing like it. I get inspired by it. I'm sure you do too. So I can't wait for my next one, which is January 23rd, I believe. If that's the Saturday in January, that's when we're doing it. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you a couple of cards. We're going to do a mini class. And if you want these cards, you place a $35 order with the host code. Let me show you the cards that we did for the Apple Harvest class. And then I'm going to do it with the Gingham Cottage designer paper instead. So here is the first card. And we are going to do it very similarly. So there is a die to cut out this, but there's also a large stamp. I feel like it could be plums if you wanted it to be. It could be peaches if you wanted it to be. In fact, I did do a card here. I'm going to share that. This was a watercolor card. It ended up being scrapped. I just didn't have the need for it, and I wasn't as thrilled with my watercoloring as I wish I could have been. But anyway, so that's peaches. You could do plums. Definitely apples, of course. But so anyway, this one I did as apples, and I'm going to show you how to do that with a Gingham Cottage paper. Okay, this is the next one. Love this one. I saw this online. I've adapted it a little bit. It's very similarly, but we're going to do the Gingham Cottage paper. Doesn't this look like an apple slice right there? Just love that. So stay tuned for that really quickly. These are all really simple measurements, by the way. This one, I did the Twigs and Sprigs folder. And on today, I'm going to use the Quatrefoil folder because I haven't done that yet. Really, really easy card to make. I'm actually going to do it as a spring card instead of as an apple card. Instead of using the branch here with all those flowers and then the apple slice, I'm going to just use some of the dies, the flowers. I'll show you that in a second. Here's my last card, and I'm not actually making this today, but isn't that beautiful? Hope you are feeling much better. This one I did kind of, because it's the cherry cobbler, I did almost want it to make it look like plums or dark red apples or whatever. But okay, so without further ado, let's get ready on this card class. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hope that this is going to work. Let me see. If I do that, nope, that's not it. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to flip down so you can see my workspace. So you're going to get a little dizzy for a second. Hang on. We're going to go up, and I'm going to go over top, and then, yay! Except that I am backwards, and I didn't want it to be backwards. Let's see. If I did that, yay! Okay, Cindy is going to be so proud of me because I've been able to do this. So if you see what I see, and I think you do, we are going to be making these cards. I've already got everything ready so that we can do this. Okay, so let's start with probably the easiest card. I knew as soon as I got going that the dogs were going to start barking. Not Mickey, he's sitting here, laying here next to me, but Minnie, my goodness, as soon as I get going. So this one I have a crumb cake base, 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4 already. You know what? I don't know if you can see a little bit better with that. Okay. Then I have just a piece of the Real Red Gingham Cottage paper. This is 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we are going to just attach that right here. So let's see. I'm going to just do that very quickly because that'll only take a second. I decided this was too bold, too big for this only 1 1/4 inch strip, so we're not going to do that. There we go. I love to use glue. A lot of people like Seal or Seal Plus. I am definitely a glue fan. Okay, I want to show you two things. First of all, I've already cut this Scalloped Contour die cut. This one is the second largest die of the Scalloped Contour dies. I end up using this probably in 90% of my classes. I use it at least once. But anyway, I set this one up, this stamp. This is the, oh, I meant to clean it before I got on. Oh, well, it's going to be fine because I'm going to stamp perfectly. Okay, I put this on my Stamparatus because I figured then I could get a nice, perfect image. I already made my marks where I'm going to put my Scalloped Contour. When I first did the die cut, oh, you can't see that. Let's put that in. When I first did the die cut, I laid down my card like that. Then I laid the stamp, when it was clean, on top of it. And then I traced around so I would try and stay in the same place. So here we go. And I'm going to use Memento ink. In fact, I'm using Memento ink for all of this because we're going to color most of these, or we're going to stamp some very fine sentiments. Don't do what I did. If you're going to start stamping, start with a clean stamp. I'm going to do it like that. And you know what? Even though I said that, I feel like it has to go down a tiny bit more. And you can judge when you look at this. I mean, I didn't have to put it down there, and I could already see that it might be better in a different spot. So all I'm going to do is press down. Some people have a nice tool for that, and didn't that do a great job, except for that little mark there. But we're going to ignore that for a minute, okay? You didn't see that. I shouldn't have pressed down. Actually, if the stamp was cleaner, it would have been fine. Okay, I wanted to make this. I love this idea. Wait until you see this, guys. So I have the card, and where did I put it? Underneath. Okay, I think with Real Red, Garden Green goes very well. And I'm going to do this again in another card. When I am coloring, we don't have a Garden Green blend, so wait until you see this. This is really cool. If I want to make a Garden Green leaf, I feel like this is a really good color. So I am going to use light shaded spruce, and I'm going to use light olive and dark olive. Okay, so I'm going to show you this very quickly because probably if I'm going to make this card, I'm going to do a better job and not put that mark on it. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is color my leaves. Doesn't take long to color these. There are a lot of leaves though, but I just want to color a couple so I can show you. Actually, if I'm going to finish this card, I really do need to finish coloring them all, don't I? So you know what? We'll try maybe putting some embellishment here to cover up that mark. I want to make sure I'm in the camera because now I'm down on the table. I don't usually do it like this. Isn't this cool? I think I'm right side up. I'm horizontal. I think you can read and see everything I'm doing in the camera. This might be a first for my Facebook Lives. Okay, so this is light shaded spruce. And wait until you see this, guys. This is so cool. I think I found the secret to a Garden Green blend. So Sorry it takes so long to color this. And I'm not doing a great job staying in the lines, but I am trying. Okay. Hope you guys had a good week. I had a busy week. I was back to work already. And I'll tell you about a little event that I had Tuesday night. I went to a church meeting, and I came home about 10:30. It was a really long meeting. And the dogs still had to go out. So I took the dogs out 10:30 at night, only to the end of my driveway, which is about 50 feet, maybe not even. I forgot that I didn't even tell my mom this. She's going to have a fit when she hears this, if she's watching this. Okay, I'm just coloring this in real quick so that then I can figure out what. I know you're dying to hear what happened. I'm going to tell you, and you're going to have new respect for nature, let me tell you. So I went outside with the dogs, and I was not even, like I said, I was on the other side of my driveway, 50 feet from the front door, and out of nowhere, and this is not the first time this has happened, so I was on high alert. Out of nowhere came 2 coyotes. And of course, I'm 50 feet from the front door. Let me tell you, I'm still shaking when I think about it. They kind of circled me, and I was screaming. I got the neighbors to call the police. That's how much I was screaming at 10:30 at night. Totally disrupted the peace. But yeah, I'm still shaking right now thinking about this. I totally was circled by these coyotes, and then a third one came out from across the road. And I'm fine, just to let you know. This is a good story. I got in the front door. The dogs are fine. But they're not going past the front yard like 10 feet from the door because one of the coyotes followed me. And yeah, I am still shaking from that. I know I was telling the story to a couple of girls that I talk to every day on text. I mean, I have a couple of demonstrator friends that I'm such good friends with. And they said, do you still have PTSD? And apparently I do, because even while I'm coloring, I'm shaking. So I know that this doesn't look like much of anything yet, but this is the dark olive blend, and all I'm doing is following the lines. Just about done. This is going to get much better, much quicker in a second. I'm so sorry it's taking so long. So this is the dark olive blend over light shaded spruce. Now look at what I'm going to do. I've got the light olive. I'm going to color over top. If this was light olive underneath, it would not look like this. You see what I'm doing? Doesn't it look like garden green? I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy how, I think that's why we don't need a garden green blend, because we've got it right here. And I could do better coloring, like I said, but so I've got a card class tonight. We're doing the Hello Harvest. And I'm talking because I'm coloring, so I can't read the comments as I'm going on. But I will respond to all of your comments. I always do. I always thank you for commenting, for liking my video, for sharing my video. I don't usually prattle on like this, so I'm sorry. But because I'm coloring and I don't like dead silence, I feel like I have to. So what do you think? Doesn't that look like garden green? Isn't that crazy? So light shaded spruce, light olive, I accented with dark olive, and that gives me that color. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing very quickly. We are just going to color the apples because I have to finish this card. Okay, so all I'm going to do is kind of follow the shading that Stampin' Up! Has put on the stamp for me, because I don't know how to color. There's probably even better ways. I know my friend Celine is so good at coloring. She has an art background, though, and I have a nursing background, which is very, very different. Okay, so that's the dark, and then I'm going to use the light real red blend yet. Blend it in. That's a little bit brighter than I would have liked, but that's okay. I'm calling this a mini class because I'm actually doing step by step on all 3 of these cards. You can skip ahead when you watch it again though. Don't forget that little piece over there. That's a little apple. That's a little part of the apple. What do you think? Isn't that cool? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is, because I'm going to do a better job coloring it later, I'm going to take some dimensionals, which I do not have a whole lot of here, it turns out. That's okay. We'll make do with what we have for now. Don't you love the back? I just love the back. That's sometimes my favorite part. Do you know that I've done some stripes and then I've ended up with almost like a rainbow? It's amazing what you can do with the back. I'm going to pop this up. Just like that. See how well I colored? Got it all over my hands. I always use the edges of my dimensionals as well. And yes, I could do more than this, but if I want to redo this card, there we go. Oh, look at that blatant black mark there. That's okay. This shows you, first of all, that it's handmade, and then you don't have to be perfect. Okay, I did have one more piece here. I have here a banner. And what I wanted to show you, I deliberately put this on here. Oh, yay! Thanks, Judy. Horizontal and in the middle and right side up. This is amazing, huh? Now, I wanted to show you this stamp. I just threw it on this block so I could show you. I don't a lot of times have time to put my stickers on there. So what I do is I put my block straight and I put my stamp on my block. And I have a really good eye for that. I hope you guys do too. For me, I can see that this is straight in line with the top of the block. So what I do next is take my Memento ink. I'm going to ink this up, and I am going to trust that block because I said my block is straight. Let's hope that this really works. Nope, didn't work at all. Okay, let's try this again. I honestly never have trouble with this unless I think about it, you know? Good thing there's 2 sides to this banner. And you know what I do sometimes? Oh, that's so much better. Isn't that better? You know what I like to do? If I end up using the back side of this die, and by the way, this is the Stylish Shapes die. This is the second largest wide die. What I end up doing is I will take it back to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I will fit the die around it and do it so that the indentation goes the other way. So I think that's really cool. Now I could put you know what? I'm going to put that right there. Look at that. You'd never even know that I just totally made those marks if I put it up there. Okay, so I have to get some more dimensionals. Hold on 1 minute. What I mean is, hold on 1 second because I'm back. I forgot that I loaded up everything for my retreat this weekend. So what I'm going to do is put that there instead. There you go. And what I'm going to do next is just add some of these black matte dots. And what I like to use is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Yes, exactly. Second time is definitely a charm, especially for me. Okay, I'll put a dot there. I'm going to put a dot here. And they always say to do things in 3s or odd numbers, so maybe I'll put one right there. There we go. That looks really cool, doesn't it? And this is the Cottage Gingham paper with the Apple Harvest stamp set. Now, I didn't use the dies, but I totally could have. If you remember, all these dies have matching, all these stamps, all the big images have matching dies. So this would have been the one to cut that out. But I'm not using it this time. Next time, though. And such a bright, cheery card. Isn't that so beautiful? Okay, so let's set this aside for a second. and move on to card number 2. So this is essentially the same. A little bit different. I think this one is even brighter. I like that one. So happy with that card. Okay, so card number 2, I've already done a lot of the work here, but I will show you what I did anyway. I have a garden green card base. I just realized that I was going to stamp and I left my very vanilla there. Okay, I love this side of the garden green cottage gingham paper. So I'm going to put that on there. This is 4 by 5 1/4. This time I'm going to use the large side. And did I want to, trying to think what my other card looked like. Oh, I did put the ribbon around it, but we're not going to use ribbon this time. Oh yes we are. I just realized what I'm going to do. Okay. I have a choice of ribbon for you guys. So I'm going to watch your what you think in a second. So here was the card. And once again, for my retreat, I gave everybody a whole pack of the Regal's designer paper. They got a roll of this ribbon and they got a pack of these black dots so they could make these cards. And of course, I prepped all the cards and did all the die cutting for that. That took a while. Okay, now I'm going to use the Diorama Dice. This is Poppy Parade. This is the 3rd largest die. There are several dies. When I tell people what size die, I always start from the largest and work my way down. So that's the 3rd largest die. And then this is the 4th largest. This is very vanilla. And if you remember, where did I just put that card? Right here. I think, I gotta stand up so I can see. I think that an apple looks more like very vanilla than basic white. So I chose very vanilla. What I'm going to do, I'm just laying this here so that I can kind of see where I'm going to stamp. I'm going to do this again. Here we have, this is the one where it says, hope you're feeling much better, because I'm using the other thanks stamp in just a second. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of stamp this. And you know what the cool thing about this is? It really doesn't matter if I'm not straight, because I think I'm going to be pretty straight, but it really doesn't matter, because if I was crooked, I would just move my die, because it's just very random. That's the cool thing about this diorama die. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now let me put this out of the way for a second because I have to accent it. I have 2 stamps that I'm going to accent it with. One is this full apple, and I'm going to put that right there. And then I can die cut it in just a second. And then I have this apple, this half apple on a branch. When I stamp, I just kind of tap. And if it's sorry, that shook the camera. But if it's a large die, see, I'm going to flip this so I can fit it on my cardstock and die cut both out of the same piece of paper. Okay. Boy, I've got a mess going already. This is what my craft room looks like on a 2,000 times worse scale. It's really bad. Okay, so I've already got these, and then we have the Apple Harvest dies. You know what? I will die cut them just to show you, and I'm going to show you how when I die cut, what I do. Because it's important to me, if I'm going to stamp, I'm going to put this in here in for a second. Because it's important to me how I do this, I take the dies. I always have, this is a tiny square of Post-it notes, and I always have them with me. I always have them close by because now we don't have the magnet board. And I really, really want this to come out right. So I'm going to show you. I know I'm off the camera for a second because this is what I like to do. I just take my little Post-it and I hold it in place. Take my other die and I'm going to do the same thing. If I can cut it at the same time. You know, it's going to be a little tricky. Oh boy. Wait till you see this. I think this is pretty close. Look at this. This right here, right there. Boy, are they close. Now, I don't know. I'm going to do it because it looks like it's going to be perfect. Just perfect. But if anything is ever that close, I don't take a chance a lot of times because I really don't want them on top of each other because then you're going to mangle two dies at the same time. And these dies are either $30 or $35. So here we go. These stickies are good for another time. They're going to last a while. So I usually keep them nearby and then recycle them until I don't have any more sticky. So here are my die cuts, and then I would color them. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did. I'm going to move this for a second. I'm going to have to use this in just a second again for my last card, but remember I said I use this shelf liner so that it doesn't slide around? That works really, really well. Okay, so for this, I've already done, my goodness, I have so much going on here. Okay, see, it's past 6 o'clock. Do you hear my Christmas clock? I know all the tunes, like 12 o'clock is the 12 days of Christmas. And I know 4 o'clock, because I used to do it, is the first Noel. So that's 6 o'clock. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Okay, I'm going to just glue this on for a second. And then this is where I'm going to need your, oh yes, oh, so Judy, the bear spray. Let me tell you, my son, he used to say, don't worry about it. Stop being a scaredy cat. And then all of a sudden he's like, Mom, you're not going in the front yard, even with the dogs. They're going to have to use a pad from now on. Isn't that funny? Then he went to Home Depot the next day and he ordered the bear spray. Unfortunately, it's going to take 8 to 10 days to get here. And they're both going to upstate New York to visit my in-laws because it's my father-in-law's, well, what would it be? 82nd birthday. Bob's birthday was last weekend and he turned 57, but it's my father-in-law's 82nd birthday. Okay, before I get going and add these die cuts like that, I'm going to put some ribbon around here. So tell me what you think. This is what I thought originally. Now I know if Anne, my team member, was here, she'd say, absolutely not on this ribbon. She hates this ribbon. And I have to say, I feel like it has its place. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stand up and watch for your comments. I don't think I care for this ribbon. Even though it's kind of pretty, I'm not going to use that ribbon. Okay. Oh, Mickey just woke up. Turned over, stretched. I was trying to take a nap today because I worked overnight. And I had Minnie laying by my head. And Minnie is a Yorkie, Sean. My son calls her a potato because she's kind of a tan color. They both are. And if you took off her head and legs, he thinks that she looks like a potato. Which is kind of true. She's kind of short and stout and everything. Okay, here's the next ribbon that I was thinking about. I think that is too green. I don't know what you think, but I think you don't like the red? Okay, wait until you see, Judy. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, so I wanted to give you that option. And then there's this red. So both of these are from the red and green, from the mini catalog, the red and green combo. So that's not bad. Wait till you see this one. Okay, this is what I was thinking. And tell me if you agree. I just love my early espresso suede. Look at this. To me, I have to tie it yet, but to me, this is the ribbon to use. Don't you think so? Now, it's not the black ribbon, and when I did the cards in the class, and I will add the black dots to the bottom. Sorry, I'm not in the camera here. Let's stay in the camera. I just think that looks so elegant. Not elegant, it just looks so apple-like. Okay, so let me try tying it, and you can tell me if you agree. Okay, I need longer. There we go. Okay. Put this around. So going back to the coyote for a real quick second, my neighbor called me because my neighbor across the street who called the cops, I had 3 cops here within 5 minutes, maybe even sooner than that. They thought somebody was getting murdered. I thought the dogs were going to be toast. So the last time in June when I had an interaction with the coyote, the one coyote as opposed to 3, nobody came out. So this time I was going to make sure that they heard. Okay, now I know this is twisted, but you know what? I don't think that's... Oh, I could do white or vanilla. I could. But I didn't get that with me. I didn't take some white or vanilla here. What do you think? Does that look okay? Let me see. We don't really have any vanilla ribbon except for the vanilla and gold ribbon, and I think that might be too elegant for this. White ribbon won't really match because of the vanilla paper. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to stick with this for now, I think. To me, that looks cool. And then, of course, this is how I colored my branches. Oh, I got to put that down a little. Let's see. So once again, I'm going to pop this up. You do like the brown. Oh, good. Thank you. This is so cool that I can actually see your comments even while you're going. And I'm probably missing a couple, and I apologize, and I'll go back to everybody. But when you do comment, this is so cool because, like I said, I know my friend Judy always watches the comments. I'm like, how in the world do you do that? And then Cindy showed me how to flip it down like this so I can actually, and this is probably how most people do their Facebook Lives, and I'm just discovering I'm just a little bit slow. That's okay though. Okay, we have that. And then I colored my apples. Real red again. I made my garden green leaves, and in case you missed it before, light shaded spruce. I accented with dark old olive, and then I colored over the light shaded spruce with light old olive, and that made a garden green leaf. I feel like I invented something. Isn't that so cool? So that's your formula. Okay, I wish I hadn't. You know what the problem is? This, I probably should have stamped that lower. But I don't think I want to put that down there. So I'm just going to have to either make it work, peel this up real quick, and put it a little bit lower. That's what I'll do. Just like that. Okay. And then my apple will fit. I'm going to pop up this apple too. I'm a big fan of dimensionals. And Wink of Stella. When it comes to the two of them, I find that I use them all the time. I'm not going to use Wink of Stella on this one though, I don't think, because to me, this seems very earthy. And Wink of Stella is, it's not quite earthy. I colored my flowers with the light Flirty Flamingo, I believe. Let's see. The light Calypso Coral. And if you wanted to, you could take off some of that color with the color lifter. And that might just spread it around. I just wanted an accent. Okay, and then I colored my full apple, and I'm going to pop that up down here. Yeah. Oh, well, now it's too low on this one, but that's okay. It's going to have to do. So let me put that here. My dimensionals are kind of funny, I have to tell you. I don't know if you can see it or not. But it's lifting off the bottom of the paper. So it's even taking, so not a fan of that. Okay, I'm gonna put this down in the corner, in the very corner, just like that. And then what we're gonna do is take your pick tool and my dots, which are on the table right here. We're just gonna take 2 large black dots, just like that. Got a mess going, sorry guys. I'm gonna put them right there, just parallel. And to me, it looks like an apple slice, just like that. I think that is the coolest thing. In this case, I've decided I'm only gonna put 2 on. I know that a lot of times I say use an odd number and it's more visually appealing, but it's not gonna look like an apple slice if you do that. So I'm leaving it alone this time. Let me cut my ribbon and trust my process here. There we go. And ta-da! Another bright and cheery card. Ideally, that would be moved over. Or maybe not so long. I think if I started my sentiment there next time, I'd have plenty of room for everything. But live and learn. Okay, so that's card number 2. Can't wait to show you card number 3. It's going to use one of the dies from the Apple Harvest that I haven't shown you yet. I showed you all the ones that cut out the main images. But now wait until I show you this one. This is really cool. And this one, so this is card number 2. Trying to keep track of these cards because, like I said, got a mess going. I'm going to put this behind me. Remind me, it does look like the seeds. That was the whole plan. Thanks, Judy. That was the plan. Okay, let me clean off my mess. Can't stand those little dimensionals, but okay. I have a mint macaron card base right here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I'm going to try and bring it down a little bit because I'm getting high up into my mess here. Okay, so this is a mint macaron card base right there. I've got all the pieces in here. Wait till you see this. This I'm going to do as just a fun spring card. And I'm going to use, like I said, some of the different dies that I haven't shown you yet that are part of this Apple Harvest bundle. So I have my mint macaron base because I'm going to tie the ribbon around. Am I going to tie the ribbon around? That's a good question. Nope, I don't even tie ribbon around. I just happened to do 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 on my sample card. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, so I bet you are wondering what all these pieces are. I have here, I think this is probably a mint macaron strip of paper. And let me take all my pieces out because I'm not doing it on the inside of the card. I am doing it on the outside. What I'm going to do is attach that just like I did in the first card. This is 1 1/4. Actually, I think I did this 1 1/2 inches, just a little bit wider because I wanted to make sure it was going to peek out from behind my card. So let me glue that down. Once again, there we go. So I did 1 1/2 inches by 5 1/4. You could do 1 1/4. It depends on what size you're doing over here. And I'll explain what I'm going to do. I am going to take a ruler and I'm actually going to do it on the back side. I'm going to do it on the left back side so that my mark, Oh, I can't do it on the left back side. Okay, gonna do it on the right front side. And the reason I have to do it on the right is because I have to be able to see where I'm going to make my mark. What I'm going to do is put my edge at 3/4, and I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm just going to make a very light mark. Very, very light. Going to do that again, 3/4. So that would be 1 inch. That's half. Each of those tiny, tiny lines, let me think. If that's half, that's 1/4, that's 1/8. My goodness, you almost, on this ruler, you almost have 1/64 of an inch, but we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to the 3/4 inch right here. So it's kind of one of the longer lines. Not as long as 1 inch or 1/2, but you'll see it's right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, make a little mark again. And now I have to get out, once again, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And I'm using, the reason I would normally use my mini for a lot of this, but the reason I'm using this big one is because, first of all, for this class, and if you do place a $35 order, by the way, you are going to get this class kit in the mail for free. I will send it to you. With everything die cut, etc. Let me go down here so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is take this Apple Harvest die. This is the scallop. And what I want to do, let me think. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put my scallop, I don't know if you can see, my mark is right there. And I'm going to put one of the scallops at the top, and then I've got another mark down at the bottom, and then I kind of just have to slide it and get it in the right spot. This is where I'm going to take my Post-it notes, because I don't want it to move on me. And I'm going to show you something really cool about this die too. Okay, so I've got that, and I've already, like I think I said, this is the quatrefoil embossing folder. And the reason I use the quatrefoil embossing folder is because I just bought it and I'm so excited about it. For some reason, I never noticed the quatrefoil die before, embossing folder. Okay, so I'm moving this through, shaking the table, shaking the camera, and I apologize for that. Let me move the whole thing down for a second and show you this. And this is what I wanted to show you too. So here, I'm going to pull this off carefully. Ooh, not supposed to take the paper off, but apparently I'm taking a little bit of the top layer off. That's not good. It's not usually so sticky, and it's not usually such a problem, but why wouldn't it be? Because we're on camera, right? I'll figure out a way to cover that up. Okay. I would probably use my embossing buddy, not my embossing, my adhesive eraser. Okay, so here we go. It cut off this edge, and then it leaves that cute little scallop as well. So, and that must have been in there because here's the whole scallop. And that's so cool. And you could do something with that. Maybe I will. You know what? I'm going to hang on to that for just a second. Let's put this aside for a second. I don't need this. So now what I'm going to do is attach this to my paper. Oh, I hate that it ripped. Oh well. We will figure out a way to cover that up. Isn't that so cool? First of all, I'm just going to add a tiny bit. Let's glue it back down. Okay, then I'm going to, maybe this would have been better with the twigs and sprigs. It really did you know how some of the embossing folders just do a much more thorough job of embossing? This must be one of them. And then the other thing I have to do yet is just erase the little pencil mark. Ta-da, all done. Okay, is that straight? Not too bad. Okay, so that's the first. And then, you know what I was thinking? Wouldn't that be cool if I added that? Yeah. If I had an adhesive sheet behind there, maybe I would do that. That is an option. I could add that. We're going to hold on that thought for now. Okay. I forgot that these are my stickier Post-it notes. Make sure your Post-it notes aren't too tacky or they're going to rip the paper like mine did. Okay, so next I'm going to just build with some Apple Harvest dies. I have a branch here and I cut this, I believe, out of soft suede. And I do, actually, now that I think about it, don't see it here. Someplace on my table here, I have, let's just do it like that. What do you think? Just a little bit of glue. Someplace on my table there, I have the silicone mat so that it doesn't stick. But anyway, I have already die cut some petal pink flowers. You know, usually this is so funny. I always tell you that I always stand when I am stamping, but for some reason today I keep forgetting and I keep sitting down, so I can't see all the comments. Oh, Monica and Judy, so good to see you guys. So good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to, when we do anything, I told you we like to do odd numbers. So there are 2 large and 2 small dies. I decided to just do 2 large and 1 small. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use my mini dimensionals on this one actually. I saw Judy and Monica in person in New Orleans backstage recently, and Monica and I are in Mastermind together on Mondays with Rhonda, where I learn how to just be super efficient with my business and do the best job possible for you guys. That is the plan. Okay, I've got little dimensionals. I'm putting them just behind, and they are going to show a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just going to put them here. These are petal pink. Then I cut out these centers, and these little star centers are so cute. I'm just going to add a dot of adhesive. I'm going to put this one on the big, and then I might put something in the center of it yet. Let's just put this here. Judy and I not only were roommates and everything, and I ended up with COVID and she did not. Figured that one out. But we also collaborated on our retreat and did everything together, all the ideas, so that we could make it the best for all of our customers. And I think not only did it make the best for our customers because it gave a couple of different styles, it also helped us because we could do so much better a job. Okay, I'm going to just add a little bit of glue. These are some big leaves. There are several leaves. I think there might be 4 big leaves and 4 little leaves in the set. I'm not positive. And go figure, there are not any big solid outline leaves because the only stamps that are in the set are on, I'm going to put that there. Isn't that pretty? So this is soft succulent, by the way. Judy, I was telling them my coyote story. And the good news for all of you is that I'm fine. And the dogs are fine. They're just never going out at night again. Okay, I'm getting glue all over my fingers. Where am I going to put this? I think right there, because it looks like that's where the Post-it took a little paper off. Okay, isn't that so pretty? Now this would be beautiful. This would be great. Oh my goodness, I made a mess. This would be great as a wedding card, I think. Of course, there's not really any great wedding sentiments in here. The greatest gift is a good friend. Hope you are feeling better. Thanks for your kindness. Those are the 3 stamps. Oh my goodness, I didn't end up, oh yes, I did use the thanks. Never mind. Okay, I always save my strips. When I have my inserts for my cards, I always give everybody a 4 by 5 1/4 insert for the card. When I do that, I end up with a 1/2 inch leftover strip on my 11-inch side. I save these strips, and that's going to nicely cover that up if I'm not mistaken. I save these strips for my sentiments. So I have bags of basic white and vanilla sentiments. Okay, I am going to stamp. I think I was going to... I don't think I want it. I think we're going to do The Greatest Gift is a Good Friend, because I already did the one about feeling better. So let's do that. I was talking to somebody about my blocks the other day, and it doesn't matter if I have a sentiment that's flat, I always go to this block. I might go to this if it's a short one and go across or whatever, but there's a size block that it would fit just probably, actually, the sentiment's a little bit long for it, but I can't see around that block, so I never ever use, I believe it's the I block. Never ever use the I block. I don't even know why I have it. Okay, what I am looking for, in case you're wondering what's taking me so long, can't find my memento. Okay, so The Greatest Gift is a Good Friend. And this is actually going to be a great sentiment because it's nice and long and it's going to cover up my, let's see. I can't really see. I'm going to trust the block. Can't really see. Ooh, there you go. This is, like I said, I love to trust my block. If I put it on the stamp straight, then all I do is I look at the top of the block and I make sure that that lines up and is parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my paper snips and I'm going to angle my edge just like that. Just like that. You know what? Maybe we're going to angle both edges. There we go. Actually, I angled it. I want it a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. Then I can put that right there. What do you think, guys? It's going to perfectly cover up my mistake with where I ripped the paper. They always say that when you do a mistake or whatever, you know, when something smears or an extra mark, they always say that's just an excuse for another embellishment. I'm pretty sure they're right. I'm going to put that there. I probably wouldn't have put it there. Oh, you know what? I really like that. What do you think? Isn't that beautiful? I could use Wink of Stella on my flowers. Let's do that very quickly. Since we decided that this was going to be a special card. You know what else I was thinking? Maybe this yellow doesn't show up. So this is petal pink, and then I cut the flower centers out of So Saffron. And maybe that doesn't show up really well. If I wanted to, let me see. I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but I'm going to try it. Hope I don't ruin it. No, this is probably where I put... No, I thought I'd accent it a little bit, but I think what we need are some brushed metallic dots. And I just happen to have a couple here. So let's do that real quick. And then we're going to call it good enough with this card. How about that? For the big flowers, I'll use a big dot. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Big flower. This one, I'm going to use little dot. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't you love to get that card in the mail? Problem is, I make cards, I make cards, I make cards. They never make it to the mailbox. So now you know one of my biggest faults. I am terrible at mailing cards. But it doesn't mean I don't love you guys. I really do. I just don't get around to that next step of addressing the envelope. So here's my second card on my third card. And let me show you the last cards. And these cards, I'm going to post the host code. And if you place a $35 order, you will get this. And if you place a $50 order, I'll include the black matte dots for free. So what I would recommend is the cottage gingham paper. That's $30. And then you might as well get the whole apple harvest set, and especially the dies, because they're going to go away on September 30th. So you want to get them quickly. Okay, here's my 3 cards. Not perfect, but beautiful. What do you think? Isn't that so cute? There we go. I'm going to have to take a picture and I will post it. If you are on my mailing list, you get my recipe cards. You will get the tutorial for free if you place any order. Doesn't matter if it's a $5 order. Of course, who can place a $5 order? It costs more for the shipping at that point. So you might as well just place a $50 order. Anyway, I'm going to, okay, hi Susan. I saw Susan today. I am going to, let's see. I'm going to flip that and down and hello and say goodbye. And thanks so much for watching me, guys. This actually turned out to be a lot of fun and not a disaster, which is good for my confidence. So anyway, love you guys. Oh, look at my cute mug. I don't know about you, but I love gnomes. And to me, this looks like a gnome in Trick or Treat. Oh, he's not backwards anymore. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next week with another card class. Bye.